It is an excellent day to talk Disney parks once again. So glad you could be with us. You know, we love rewarding you for watching or listening to the show. All you have to do to win your very own Kingdom Report mug, head on over to the Kingdom Report on YouTube, and beneath this very video, following the live show, leave the phrase that pays this week. The phrase that pays is Disney Springs. Disney Springs is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you, get that mug shipped your direction for entering Disney Springs in the comment section beneath this video after the live broadcast. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about how a black bear shut down most of Magic Kingdom this week. It is a wacky story. And of course, tram service has finally been restored to all Walt Disney World theme parks after more than 3 years. Disney is teasing new lands for Disneyland Resort, and we'll talk about why that's irritating. $60 billion for Disney Parks expansion has been set aside, at least according to the leadership of the Walt Disney Company, and our must-do Walt Disney World attractions. That and so much more coming up today on Kingdom Report Live. You stick with us, the show begins right now.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
A beautiful September day outside at the Disneyland Resort. Probably one of the nicest falls I have seen in Southern California in over a decade. Absolutely one of the, I guess, well, today's technically the first day of fall. So to those who celebrate, hip hip hooray. But for the rest of us, I would like to say probably the nicest September in general that I have seen in a decade of living in Southern California. Absolutely spectacular, absolutely beautiful out there, and another great day of high 70s temps in the Disneyland Resort, and we are so grateful to be a part of your weekend. Hi friends, Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you once again from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District, beautiful Burbank, California. Alongside me today to talk all things Disney news, Disney reviews, Disney tips, and more. Well, they hail from a kingdom not too far from here. In fact, one is a Disney princess in residency. She let down her flowing locks today in order to be here. And she is our theme park analyst, Tyler Crouch. Looking beautiful as ever.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
I accept this princessness but to be bestowed upon myself.
There's a great deal of royalty here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Tyler Crouch. I'm going to print up business cards that say Disney CEO/princess.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Make it happen, sir.
Yeah.
And alongside you, I guess another Disney princess, our travel agent, Katrina Manzone. Nice to see you.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Yes. Michael. And at a distance, but always in our hearts, the Golden Goose himself, Kingdom Report reporter Garrett Hassel. Good to see you, my friend.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I was thinking, please call Tyler the princess. I wanted it last week. It didn't happen. Dreams really do come true, people, on this show. Let me tell you, I'm so pumped for today. I'm going to hold that until trivia, and then I'm just going to plummet.
Oh man!
Hit that boulder like you usually do, and
absolutely, like the Evil Queen and Snow White. Yeah, it's smushed.
Poor guy. Yeah, you go through a lot every week. We understand it's a real roller coaster for you, but this week it's only down from here, right?
Yeah, yay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully not. No, I want to be uphill, but
Oh, you want to be uphill?
Oh.
You want to face the climb?
it's like Slinky Dog Dash. It's got an uphill, goes downhill, then you go uphill, and then you just go up and down a bunch of times. Then finally, there's a singing penguin at the end.
Right.
It's just like life,
If it
right?
sings, who knows?
That's a good point. And then you got Wheezy at the
Don't hit on
end.
Wheezy.
Yeah.
We love Wheezy.
That's what I've said, that is the perfect analogy for life right there.
Life ends
Yeah.
in Wheezy.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you get to the end, and you have those gates, those pearly gates that open wide, and some wonderful gentleman with a beard is welcoming you. Or
Wow,
a penguin.
this got
He
really-
could
Or
be
a
a
penguin.
penguin.
It's got really philosophical.
We're all about that. A little bit of philosophical wisdom for your weekend. As always, glad to be a part of it. And whether you listen to this broadcast or whether you watch, we want to thank you for being a part of it. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel so you never miss a thing over at the Canyon Report on YouTube, or rate and review if you happen to download it as a podcast. Yes, we are an audio podcast as well. So for those of you that do download us on the go, a big old thanks, because that means an awful lot. But in order to kick the show off right, we do want to grab ourselves a mug. So grab your beverage at home, or if you're on the go, pick up your cup, because we are about to do a show toast to something great. This week's show toast comes courtesy of Katrina. What are we toasting?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so now we have all of our cups, right?
Mugs-
Everybody?
mugs
Give
in
you
the
a
air?
second?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I would like to toast to Gay Days. It's happening this weekend in Anaheim, the 22nd to the 24th. I know this is Saturday, so we kind of missed yesterday's, but yay, I'm so excited it's back. I can't wait to see everybody's pictures of all the beautiful rainbows and everybody wearing red. That's why I wore red today.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's why. Anyway, so yeah, cheers.
Red Shirt Weekend.
Cheers.
Yay.
Cheers to the cast members
Tasty.
having to facilitate as well.
Don't forget to pick up the rainbow cake that
Oh,
they
yeah.
normally have, right? I know.
Instagram famous.
Very famous.
Get your Instagram on. Get that rainbow cake.
Plaza Inn, I
yummy?
know, for the longest time had that rainbow cake. It was an exclusive there for a period of time, especially in the beginning, and was such a hot prospect. People lined up out the door
Oh, yeah.
just to get themselves a slice
beautiful.
of that cake. Yeah, really
Now it's like
stunning.
mandatory. It has to happen during this weekend.
And if it doesn't,
Oh, shit.
oh, look
Price
out.
to pay.
Yeah, you got a price to pay. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But very popular weekend to be certain. Bigger every year, it seems. So congratulations on another successful Gay Days weekend. And we want to catch you up on all the news headlines across the Disney Park spectrum and beyond. It is time for the Disney News Review. Disney News Review time, taking a look at some of the biggest stories from across the Walt Disney Company in the past week. NBC News reporting sightings of a black bear at Florida's Disney World caused parts of the most magical place on Earth to temporarily close Monday afternoon. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said it safely captured the adult female bear that was reported to be in a tree at Orlando Resort's Magic Kingdom. The bear was likely in search of food ahead of the winter hibernation season. Walt Disney World confirmed in an earlier statement that FWC staff were on site working to capture the bear. The My Disney Experience app showed long wait times Monday afternoon amid the bear sighting, as almost the entirety of the west side of the park had been shut down out of an abundance of caution. And Blog Mickey reports that after more than 1,100 days and 9 months after a self-imposed deadline, parking lot trams have returned to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, marking a full return of the service. Parking lot tram service returned to Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom last year, but Disney only brought back service to Epcot and Hollywood Studios this past week. What started likely as a pure staffing issue increasingly became an obvious reluctance by Walt Disney World to spend money on bringing the service back. Regardless, the service is now back at all 4 Walt Disney World theme parks after more than 3 years. And out at Disneyland, the Orange County Register reports that they have closed Space Mountain just as the busy Halloween season gets underway, but not to install the Ghost Galaxy overlay that adds a spooky holiday theme to the popular Tomorrowland indoor roller coaster. No. Space Mountain will be closed from Monday, September 18th through October 25th for refurbishment at the Anaheim theme park. Halloween time is one of the busiest seasons of the year, with holiday decor, ride overlays, and themed fireworks at Disneyland and the wildly popular Oogie Boogie Bash and Plaza de la Familia at California Adventure. But this Halloween, Ghost Galaxy will not be available. Disneyland regularly evaluates and adjusts attraction offerings based on guest feedback.
The Hollywood Reporter writes, in a dramatic expansion of its theme parks, products, and cruise line business, the Walt Disney Company says it will spend $60 billion over the next 10 years to turbocharge growth in the lucrative division. That is nearly double its investment compared to the prior 10-year period. In a presentation to investors of Walt Disney World on Tuesday, the company said that it had more than 1,000 acres of land available for development, including at Disneyland in California, Walt Disney World in Florida, its theme parks in France, China, and Japan, and cruise ship ports in the US, Asia, and Australia. The investor presentation was led by Disney CEO Bob Iger and Disney Parks chief Josh D'Amaro, who said that the company's focus will be on stories, scale, and fans. Quote, today, as Disney considers future growth opportunities, there is a deep well of stories that have yet to be fully explored in its theme parks, the company said in an investor briefing, adding that it plans to explore even more characters and franchises, including some that haven't been leveraged extensively to date at its parks around the world. And during that investors summit, Disney Parks chairman Josh D'Amaro teased that there could be 3 new lands based off of popular movies like Frozen, Wakanda, and Coco coming to the Disneyland Resort in the near future. In fact, World of Frozen is opening at Hong Kong Disneyland this November. Disney Parks welcomes approximately 100 million guests each year.
Lots of discussion in those investor meetings this week with the heads of the Walt Disney Company. And Tyler, the company says $60 billion over the next 10 years for the Disney Parks division is what they're setting aside. I guess, what are you hoping we see and what are you hoping we don't see that comes out of this $60 billion set aside?
Yeah, I don't know. That number to me is wild, like when you really boil it down, because I did just a little bit of Googling, just easy to figure this out.
Google.
And it cost them $5.5 billion to build all of Shanghai Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
When it first opened. So if you consider $5.5 billion for an entire theme park, and they're going to spend $60 billion over 10 years on these theme parks, like, what are we talking about? We've got to be talking about brand new theme parks in my mind.
Inflation.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. There probably is like a little bit of inflation, boiled in there, but it's just, that's a huge number. And it's shocking to see $60 billion when you think about Shanghai Disneyland costing, just a small percentage of that. So, I'm just hoping we see some new stuff. I think what I hope to not see is when they say they're spending this money on the parks, I hope they're not just like, going to build like, Frozen Ever After over here, for the third time, or just, I just don't want everything to be like a copycat of everything else. I think for me personally, I like it when the parks and, the different, like, not just the parks, but also just the different, like, international geography and stuff like that. Like, I like it when they're all different. I like it when they have their own thing, because that gives you a reason to go out there and explore and do something new,
Each with a distinct personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a character attached to each park, essentially. There's an image that you have in mind that makes that park experience distinct.
Right, yeah. And like I've said, like last week we were talking about Pandora, and I was like, I hope they don't bring Pandora out, or maybe we were just talking about Disneyland Forward, actually, and I brought up Pandora, but I just hope they don't bring Pandora out here, because I just don't, like, Animal Kingdom already, it feels like it's a very unique park, and I want it to stay that way. I don't want everything from Animal Kingdom to start spreading out to the West Coast, because then I have less of a reason to go to the East Coast, it like the cannibalizing makes it less exciting for me as a consumer and as a guest. So that's what I hope we don't see. I hope we don't see a bunch of copycat rides. I hope that we just see a bunch of brand new things that, are exciting. I mean, I could see if they bring over something that is, international. I would love to see like Mystic Manor out here, or even that new Zootopia ride looks amazing somewhere. That would be cool to see. But I also just want a lot of newness. So we'll see what they do. $60 billion is crazy.
It's a lot of money, Katrina.
Newness.
Newness.
Sounds funny.
Bring that newness.
Bring the newness.
Bring the newness
Bring
on.
the newness.
That's going to be when I'm
Slogan.
CEO, that's going to be bring the newness.
Bring the newness.
He's not Chapek, followed by bring the newness.
Newness we can believe
Yeah.
in. There we go. It's on its way.
Yeah.
I will say, I remember many years ago when Disney's Hollywood Studios was talking about what the reimagining of that park was going to be and how the rumors kept resurfacing in attachment to Cars Land coming to Hollywood Studios. Don't know if you remember that, but it was consistently the thing that everybody was hearing. Cars Land, Hollywood Studios, Cars Land, Hollywood Studios. That would replace the backlot, and of course we all know Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land have taken root there, but for the longest time it was discussed Cars Land, and I thought, this is the one thing that has finally made California Adventure special. After a decade of suffering, after a decade of cheap, cutting corners, terrible pun locations, it was so bad for 10 years. Finally, it has a heart called Cars Land, and now you just want to replicate that? No, keep it special, keep it unique for that coast. Like, why would you rip that out of California Adventure and transplant it on over? Why would you do that? It just didn't seem right. And so, thankfully, while, yes, now both coasts have a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, making, I think, that experience diminished to a certain degree. Still, I think, not having transplanted Cars Land was the right thing to do, was leaving that special for California Adventure, because that's such a draw.
I mean, it's just so pretty. Like, why would you want to ruin it? Like, I hate when they do the cookie cutter thing where, like, oh, well, we can build it here, and also we can build it here. And I was like, well, what's the point of traveling then if I can make everything at Disneyland and then not go to Florida now? And then, like, don't you want people to travel to each park and go visit and see it? Like they were trying to, like, pimp out at D23 the Avengers campus, being like, oh, they're all going to be different. Yeah. And you can continue the story and, like, here and over in Paris and over there. And I was just like, oh, wow, that's really cool. You can continue the story. And then it kind of went to poo and never really happened because there is no ride here at the moment besides Spider-Man.
Maybe one day.
One day, but then
we
it'd be
saw
cool.
those ride vehicles, didn't we?
I know, right? It'll happen
saw
in the
that
next
video.
like 20 years or so.
We only need concept art. We don't actually need any physical attraction. The art and the blue sky sort of projects is all we need to be happy.
Yeah.
That's right. Are you still riding that high, Garrett, from the D23 announcement of the ride vehicle?
I was never actually riding that high. I was like, oh, cool, a ride vehicle concept, not even an actual picture of the actual ride and what's going on. Like when they released the initial concept art of like fighting King Thanos, I was like, that's kind of cool because that's something else. But the ride vehicle, until I actually see, more of like what this is going to entail, I'm not going to get my hopes up because, they did the same thing with Mary Poppins. I was never excited for that in the first place, but
Rude.
At least that one showed what it was going to possibly do. So sometimes just maybe hold the art until you have something more concrete that will actually, do something for me.
Speaking of holding the art until something becomes more concrete, we recently heard from Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro this past week at that investors conference where they were discussing the $60 billion set aside for Disney Parks for the next 10 years. He claimed they will be accelerating Disney Parks' growth. Now he's actively teasing different IP for potential lands during these investor conferences, including things like Frozen, Wakanda, and Coco-themed lands possibly coming to Disneyland. Garrett, what's your confidence level that any of these teases are going to become a reality?
Well, I'm pretty confident that we'll see more Frozen because that seems to be the franchise and IP that never seems to die. I don't hate Frozen. I think Frozen is a great franchise. It's got great characters that relate to, the people that watch them. I think Olaf is one of the best characters ever to help. Like the Olaf shorts on Disney Plus, probably one of my favorite miniseries of all time. But I would love something that's not set in Arendelle because, they destroyed Maelstrom and put in Frozen Ever After there. Then Hong Kong Disney, they just opened up their Arendelle, which looks amazing. But then they're going to do a similar thing in Paris. I would hate to see that, actually come to fruition in Florida or, California for that matter. I'd rather see, if it's Frozen, do something like Frozen 2 where like you're in the woods and it has like the mystery and you have the giant, earth.
Into the unknown?
Into the unknown, absolutely. I'm all about, oh, I want to hear that every 5 seconds. But
Goodness.
when it comes to things like Coco, I could actually see that happening. Coco and Encanto, those are two films that
Hell yeah.
are very popular worldwide, especially if Coco were to appear anywhere. I would hope it would appear in California over Florida because
Yes.
like you have like California borders Mexico, and there's a very strong Mexican, heritage to California. And so Coco there would be so great. The music, the culture, it fits in well. There's already, great food and environment in California Adventure. So Coco is definitely
Folklorico
possible.
dancers all year round. Hell yeah.
I'm
Bring it
all for
on.
it. I don't want Coco to go to Mexico in the Mexico Pavilion. I don't want it there. I like Three Caballeros. It's simple and easy.
It deserves its own land, not an overlay,
It does. And I don't know if one of the attractions is, riding around, in the land of the dead and seeing all the different sights and sounds, or maybe Ernesto de la Cruz is performing.
You jump a ride on what is it called? An alebreja? What is it?
Is that the word?
What is the?
That is the word.
Is that what it's? Yeah, you're like the mystical creatures.
Yeah, your spirit.
Your spirit animal.
I'm all about Dante, but
He is a spirit animal.
For Wakanda, I'm a little mixed on that one because I'm wondering where you'd put it. I would put it in DCA over Florida, just because you can't really do much with Marvel in Florida. But I want to see more IP than just, these three listed. What about Wall-E? What about more of the world of Pirates of the Caribbean? Because now that Johnny Depp is sort of back in the acting game,
More rum.
Are we going to see more of that? I just don't want Disney to use the $60 billion and just use it on stuff we've seen before. One piece of IP, I guess, is the SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which is part of the Adventureland Treehouse coming to Disneyland. I would love to see that pop up because the characters in that are all over the world. Hightower from Tokyo Disney Sea, he's there, and then you've also got Albert the monkey and his owner who's in Mystic Manor. They're part of this society too, and I would just love to see that explored. But $60 billion, it's a lot. I just hope it's quality and quantity. If I can't have both, I'll take quality over quantity any day. But I just don't want to see Frozen, the same Arendelle over and over and over again. Bring us something new. Give us a Wall-E ride. I would love to go on an adventure.
Something new. Newness.
Something new. Newness is goodness.
Newness you can believe in.
You can get that T-shirt. Yeah.
That's right.
Tyler Crouch, CEO 2028.
Look out.
Newness is goodness.
Newness is goodness. Newness is magical, we should say. And, we definitely referenced this in the past, but the images of Disneyland Forward are important, I think, when somebody like Josh Tomorrow is talking about new themed lands coming to the Disneyland Resort. And the Forward Disneyland concept on the Disneyland side next to the parking garages, you see here, it's like, could that be Wakanda? I don't know.
Dora Milaje, I think I see one over there.
Yeah, entirely possible. Makes you wonder. Again,
we have a Killmonger meet and greet.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, please.
He's my favorite character. I don't care that he is technically a villain. I think he's just misunderstood.
Like every villain.
Michael B. Jordan meet and greet.
Because he's a murderer.
Whoa.
5. It's all a matter of perspective.
Yoinks.
It's all a matter of perspective. We look at the California Adventure side of the images, and that's really where we see a lot of like mountainous regions in the concept art. That's really where we see a lot of additional water. This was the land that really reminded me, at least just in concept, because obviously this could be anything, but in concept, this reminded me a lot more of something we would see at like Tokyo Disney Sea, for example. That has that inspiration to
Could this
me.
be Moana?
Could
with the volcanoes and stuff?
I could do some Moana.
I could see
I
that
would,
too.
yeah.
I would love some Moana.
Oh, can we get some spam and rice?
Done.
Done
Honestly,
and done.
like,
But it
just
has to
for
be
you.
like catered around coconuts because that was the whole point of Moana. All the coconuts died.
We'll get
They
you some
use a lot of
coconuts
coconuts.
All right.
as well. Yeah, I think that
Coladas everywhere.
Oh my god.
I
That'd be
think
great.
that there's a lot of suggestion here by Josh Tomorrow. Of course, referencing those 3 IPs I thought was very interesting. Why would you reference those 3 IPs out of everything?
Yeah.
But at the same time, much like with all the Disneyland Forward concepts, we are many years from any of this even starting. And on top of it, as referenced before, the company doesn't have a whole lot of money right now. And so with that, are these investor conferences really, are these blue sky concepts, these D23 announcements, are all of these things just about trying to create a stir?
Yeah,
More than anything else? Because it sure feels that way.
it is. Definitely. They're like, hey, this is what we could do. And everybody's like, wow. And then like 10 years later, they're like, so is it going to happen yet? And they're like, yeah, for sure. It's on the board, right?
We
It's
set the
gonna
money
happen.
aside, guys. Of course it's going to
gonna
happen.
happen.
It'll happen.
Everything's going to be like obsolete at that point. Like obviously like the ride, Thanos is like done. He's over now.
We're on to
Who's the new villain?
We're on to the next
It's
big
too
villain.
old now. And all the other people, like you can't get Captain America back. Chris Evans is like, psh, listen, I'm out. Iron Man, done. He's dead.
What?
Terrible.
I know. But you know what I mean? Like no one really
Spoilers.
wants like it's gonna be like the new Marvel characters that are gonna happen, and it's like
Right.
give me good product
Hey.
versus crap shows,
Hey,
and then maybe I'll be
I'm
okay
all
with it.
for the TVA. I'd be kind of cool with the TVA. I know Loki's not like a long running series.
I
It's
would-
only about to have season
I would do
2,
that.
But TVA looks pretty cool just from the aesthetic. And Shang-Chi, like you know, like I love that movie. I thought it was one of the few Marvel films when watching it, it felt more like a high octane kung fu movie versus like a superhero movie. It like the music and score and just I don't know. Simu Liu is awesome. He's awesome in this. He's awesome in Barbie. He's awesome on the Getty Images. Simu Liu, please put your influence into the park.
And maybe we will get some. We'll see. But we'd like to hear from all of you, the interest level in what Josh Tomorrow is pushing forward here with those lands. $60 billion set aside for Disney Parks expansion. Sounds like they're going all in on the Disney Parks experiences side of things, which is incredible. Really wonderful to hear that they believe that an expansion on the Disney Parks and experiences side could generate some of the greatest revenue long term. What would you like to see? Let us know in the comments. Got your trivia hat on? It's time for Disney Trivia. Disney Trivia Minute time. Taking a look at some of the most historic of questions and testing our team. This time around, Disney Trivia Minute brings us a question about princesses, royalty to be exact. Tyler Crouch, even.
I am a princess,
You
so
are.
this should be right up my alley.
That's right, Princess
Yeah,
Crouch.
you are, baby.
Look out.
Sparkle.
Sparkle,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
shine bright like a diamond. That's what we like to say to him. The first question that we have in this round, who is the youngest Disney princess? Is it A, Ariel, B, Merida, or C, Snow White? Who is the youngest Disney princess? Katrina, we will begin with you.
Do we have an hour for her dissertation?
She's frozen in time.
A.
A, Ariel.
Wow.
Sure about that?
No explanation.
Don't-
Okay,
what-
wow.
Relax, Wade.
All right, we got it locked in. Ariel. A.
Don't push.
There she goes. Garrett, who is the youngest Disney
Yeah.
princess? Ariel, Merida, or Snow White?
See, I don't think it's Ariel because my fiance's name is Ariel and she's not.
You calling her old?
Yeah,
Okay.
what are
No,
you saying
in,
here?
in the
Wow.
movie.
Watch yourself.
I was going to go bad. No, Ariel in the movie says, "I'm 16, Daddy," and all that stuff. So it's not her. Actually, Snow White. She's like 14. I'm locking in Snow White. Yeah.
All right. We got Snow White from Garrett, Ariel from Katrina. Tyler, the youngest Disney princess, Ariel, Merida, or Snow White?
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to go Merida.
It's just me,
'Cause-
boo.
Because
She'll be shooting for her own hand.
she's going through a whole thing in that movie where she's like supposed to get married and whatnot. So she's got to be pretty young too. But
Bears.
there's bears.
Bears, rawr.
There's bears in that movie and at Disney World.
Right.
Whisks.
A lot of issues
Oh.
here.
Yeah, bears is all over the place. Shoot, man. I think
How old do you have to be to have a bow and arrow license?
In Ireland, it's given to you at birth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
She's Scottish.
Yeah.
In Scotland,
Dang.
it's given to you
Yoinks.
in the womb. There you go.
I think I'm just to move on. I'm just gonna choose B. I think.
Just to move on.
Merida.
All right.
I don't know. I think there's good reasons that they could all be young. So.
They sure
I mean,
seem
they are
young,
young.
don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
And producer Tony, I know you're off camera, but if you were to guess who the youngest Disney princess is, who would you say?
It has to be Snow White, since she was the first princess before all these other
Oh,
wannabes.
Till you find out she's 45.
Well, now she is.
she's been through a lot.
Tony playing chess. Y'all playing checkers. Tony, my dog.
Well
Rough.
bent.
I just don't like the idea of some dude coming up and kissing a 13-year-old girl while she's sleeping.
No.
Don't like that.
He
This
thought
guy,
she was
respect.
dead.
I don't like that.
A lot of interesting princess stories at Disney, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the question being, who is the youngest Disney princess? The answer may surprise you. It is C, Snow White.
Dang.
How smart are you, Garrett?
You did it.
Thank you.
It's like the start of the show, man. I'm feeling on top of the world right now. I'm on top of spaceship Earth.
Whoa. Are you
Whoa.
waving
Wow.
like Mickey on top of
Yeah.
Spaceship Earth?
Please.
Just like that.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yep, just like that. Just like that.
Very good. Well, let's keep that momentum rolling with this next question. Who was the first rock band approached by Disney to star in Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Is it A, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, B, U2, or C, Foo Fighters? Once again, who was the first rock band approached by Disney to star in the Rock and Roller Coaster attraction at Hollywood Studios? Red Hot Chili Peppers, U2, or the Foo Fighters? Garrett, since you're on a hot streak already, let's start with
Yeah.
you.
I honestly thought AC/DC was going to be on here, and I'm like, wait, Highway to Hell and White Lightning, like a lot of their songs have inappropriate undertones. So Disney probably went most appropriate, and I think U2 is the most appropriate that they would have approached. And then they're like, nah, we're going to go Steven Tyler and Aerosmith. They seem like they were pretty good guys with like their Q stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go U2.
You think U2. All right.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yeah,
the
U2.
first rock band approached by Disney to star in the Rock and Roller Coaster attraction. Obviously, they turned them down. Is it Red Hot Chili Peppers, U2, or Foo Fighters?
I'm going Red Hot Chili Peppers on this one. And I think, first of all, there was that short-lived kind of Space Mountain overlay that had Red Hot Chili Peppers on it.
Yeah.
So
Rock and Space Mountain, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So maybe they were kind of in talks to at that point already to get something working, and then I just feel like they seem like the fun-loving dude. They got that. They did that. The cover of that Roller Coaster of Love song, Roller Coaster. Anyway, is that a? I feel like that's something that not that many people know about, but I think
don't
they
know.
covered like a roller coaster song.
Did they?
So maybe that wasn't.
Loves
anyway.
a roller coaster.
Well,
that-
No.
Aerosmith
Roller
has
Coaster
Love
of
in an
Love?
Elevator, and they changed it to Love in a Roller Coaster, loving it out when we're going down. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem from the Muppets, but
No, that would be cool.
That should be the next one.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
There's the wreath.
Tyler,
right
make it
there.
happen.
All right, so Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Katrina, the first band approached by Disney to star in the Rock and Roller Coaster attraction. Red Hot Chili Peppers, U2, or Foo Fighters?
I can't think of any song from anybody at the moment.
Steven Tyler is wondering what your answer is.
I don't know. Remember that one time when Apple forced you to have U2
Yeah.
on their phone,
Yes.
and everybody hated it?
Yes, and I just got a
immediately
new
was like,
and I just got a new iPhone yesterday, and I updated everything, and I'm scrolling through the Apple Music, and I'm like, this frickin' YouTube
Is it still
album
is
is
there?
still on my frickin' phone years later.
Wow.
Just years later, here we are with
They're
this
with you for life.
horrible U2. I mean, U2 overall, they have some great hits, but that album was.
Everyone loves Bono.
Yeah, who doesn't love Bono?
it's true.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm like, the first thing I was like, U2. they had some good hits, I guess. I don't know. And then they forced us to have it on their phone on Apple. So I'm sure like they had some good stuff and they like paid a lot of money to like be on it or whatever. But I kind of like them with Tyler on Red Hot Chili Peppers because I was like, that's cool. That sounds like a fun vibe. I've never been on the ride because I don't like roller coasters. So I have no clue.
Katrina.
Zero clue. So I am gonna go with you two, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going with Tyler. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. Okay, you
I
too.
don't know.
How do you think that works, by the way? Do you think the guy that plays the guitar in U2, he like walks up to the band members one day and he's like, "Hey guys, I just call me the Edge from now on." And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you got it." And then they all laugh when he walks out of the room.
That's probably how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect thing for the ride. That's like the perfect when you like get on the ride. That's the point. He's like, I'm gonna be called the Edge.
Call me the
and then
Edge.
as you're exiting, they'll be like, what a loser. And then you get on the ride and you go.
Perfect.
That twerp.
He walks off. I like it.
Perfect.
Just like that. Tony, the first rock band approached by Disney to star in Rock and Roller Coaster, Red Hot Chili Peppers, U2, or Foo Fighters.
Well, I know it's not Pooh Fighters.
Oh.
And when I talked to Flea, he told me.
Oh, he
that
told you.
They were never approached. So I'm going to say B.
How do you
friends.
know all these people?
Tony is very well connected in the
Yeah.
Hollywood scene.
Apparently so. Like he knows
right.
like Mariah Carey or
and
Beyonce
Allison
or whatever.
Arngrim.
I don't know who that is. Who's that person?
Rest my case.
Whatever.
We
Whatever.
take a look into chat. Daniel saying the Foo Fighters. Richard saying U2. Nancy saying U2 as well. Bob Smith is saying toss-up. But I am going with U2 as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the first rock band approached by Disney to star in the Rock and Roller Coaster attraction, Disney's Hollywood Studios, was U2. Garrett,
No.
what a sweep. Way to go, bud.
Yeah. I'm best day of my life so far.
All right.
I thought it would be, proposing to Ariel. Nope, this tops it.
Yeah. Who needs to get married now?
Yeah.
Right?
All right. See, Tony and I, when we're together, we're on stop.
Oh, goodness.
Rough.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
Well, congratulations to
got them
those
both
of you that came up with U2, especially very last second when you were leaning another direction, clearly. Bravo. And to those of you in chat, thanks for playing along. As always, plenty more show to come. You stick around. Canyon Report Live rolls on next. The Disney list is here, and this week it is all about the Walt Disney World Resort, specifically our must-do Walt Disney World attraction list. What can we just not miss during our trip? This week, Tyler Crouch, Garrett Hassel going to be sharing their lists with you. We all remember, I think, the beloved Stacy from Disney World Resort Television, who gave us the must-do list. We turn on Resort TV, there she would be. Time to do the must-dos, she would tell us. She has since passed on. in terms of Disney television.
That's right.
She's
Job
still-
title.
She's still very much
Oh
alive.
my
Yes.
gosh.
Stacey Aswad, the
my-
actress, is still alive. But her time on Disney Resort television has passed, unfortunately, and they have completely replaced her now, which is a travesty, if you ask me. She was such a joy to listen to when you got to Walt Disney World, turn on that TV, and she would go crazy.
I remember when they gave the news, you were just beside yourself.
I was, yeah.
In tears.
Took me several weeks to recover.
We had to check on you a lot.
And thank you for doing so.
Yeah.
Stacey, we're thinking of you. But we wanted to provide you.
Come on the show if you watch.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on.
Then
I
he
think,
fangirls so hard.
I think your enthusiasm and your wit and wisdom would be very, very well received here.
It's true.
Yeah, that's
We don't
what
have
I
any
think.
here.
That's what I think.
We will appreciate you where Disney didn't.
That's right.
Damn.
It's
Yeah.
true.
A lot to be had here, that's for sure. But we are going to share with you some of our must-do Disney World experiences. Must-do Walt Disney World attractions. Tyler, what do you got for us? You go to Disney World, you got to do these things.
All right. So, first of all, I just want to say
Say it.
I am a very fortunate person. I do get to go to Disneyland. I get to go to Disney World fairly frequently. I made this list out of the knowledge that, you know, I can only do so much when I go on a vacation and things like that. So I have chosen rides that I can only do when I'm in Florida because, you know, there's plenty of great rides out there in Orlando, but if I can also do them here at Disneyland, they become less of a must do for me, you know.
I understand that.
Kind of
No,
leans
I feel
into
that.
what we talked
Respect.
about earlier.
This does go full circle into the segment we were talking about earlier, honestly. So it's just it's been that kind of day, I guess. But so the first one for me is going to be this is absolutely Garrett's favorite ride. There is no question about it. He's talking about this constantly. And it is Expedition Everest.
Oh,
you?
Garrett. Your
Um,
fave.
It is.
Sweet.
This is a classic. I love this ride. It is a
How is
really.
it a classic?
How is it not a classic?
Because it's been less than 20 years old. It's not.
Well, that's not true. No, I'm just lying. It is probably true. The park is a little over 20 years old, right? So,
like-
and it didn't open with the park, so maybe you're right. But anyway, I digress. It's a great ride. It's kind of one of the more thrilling rides that I feel like Disney has ever made, with the backwards hill that happens. Like that really does still get me even to this day, even though I know exactly what's going to happen and
As
everything.
Stacy would say, there doesn't seem to be any track. And then they go rolling.
Well, I got news for Stacy. She was wrong.
Oh,
There is track.
it's about building the anticipation. And
And-
she knew how to do it.
You know,
Thinking of you. Thinking of you, Stacy. She knew how.
Stacy, are you single? We need to.
Oh man.
I think there's a match to be made. Stacy.
I'm all for it.
So Expedition Everest, you say?
Yeah. So Expedition Everest. Yeah. I don't know where to go from what just happened. But yeah, no, it's a
Thing
great
Wade
ride.
wants
It's
to do is take Stacey on a date.
Oh my god.
Way to catch up. Jared. Yeah, absolutely. That's thanks for that. When I said wit and wisdom, and it
wasn't
could be
hired
very
for
well
my-
placed here, there's a reason why I said that, I think.
oh man.
Just
This is why I keep a napkin right here.
at any rate.
Okay. So, you know, we've got Matterhorn out here at Disneyland.
We do.
And I feel like Expedition Everest is like the 2.0, right? You know, so
Very much so.
it was one of those rides I always have to check out because
And you don't need a chiropractor afterwards.
No, you definitely don't. Hold on, wait.
And you don't need a chiropractor afterwards.
Yeah,
That.
I love it.
Tony does the sound effect with his mouth that no one can
What?
hear as I say that, and then realizes he has that sound effect, which is great. There we are.
Okay, so my next ride on the list here. This is another ride that you can only do in one place in the world. And to me, it's probably the best attraction that that they've come up with in quite some time. And of course, I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Hey.
I almost said Mission Breakout, but Cosmic Rewind.
Wrong
Cosmic
coast.
Rewind is what I'm talking about.
Cosmic Rewind.
It's a dope ride. It is massive.
Yeah,
So big.
it's insane. Like, and when you go to the craziest thing to think about when you are walking around Epcot and you kind of look towards Spaceship Earth and you see off to the right hand side there's another just massive square, blue square over there, and it's like bigger than Spaceship Earth even. And just you think about the scale of that ride and what they accomplished and how it's just such a unique thing. Like, everybody talks about the goat trick at Big Thunder Mountain, which is, for those that don't know, when you go down the lift hill, or when you go down the hill that has the little goat with the dynamite in his mouth, you're supposed to stare at the goat as you're going down the hill, and it kind of adds this little element of thrill, right?
Crazy goat.
Yeah, that little crazy goat with the dynamite, he's gonna blow himself up and get his pieces everywhere. But anyway, so somebody said, let's make a roller coaster, but we'll make it the goat trick roller coaster, And that's what Guardians of the Galaxy is that every time you're going through a little loop or a hill or whatever, it kind of directs your attention in a way that makes it a ride that wouldn't be so. It would be a pretty simple ride if it just was straightforward the whole time, but the fact that it rotates you in the position you need to be in, it sets up these thrills along with these cool little little scenes that play out the story. And I think
great music.
that is the coolest ride that they've come up with in such a long time. I think the only downside is that the pre-show gets a little old after you've seen it a number of times, because it relies on, anytime something relies on jokes, and once you see the jokes a couple times, the jokes don't really
Like
hit
Flight of
anymore.
Passage.
Yeah, so that's my number 2. I think that's how can you deny that ride is amazing? It's
pretty epic.
And on track with how epic that ride is, I have yet another epic addition here to the list.
Quite the
This
thrill
is-
seeker, sir.
Total
this
banger.
is
must-dos.
anybody who gets a little woozy, queasy, or anything might not be able to do this one, but this is a banger if you can bring yourself together to do it. And my number 3 pick is Living with the Land.
Wow. Thrill seeker
Wow.
paradise.
Yeah.
That was a curveball. I was not expecting that. I thought you were gonna say, I don't know. When you were saying spinning thing, I'm like, teacups?
Teacups,
Mission
yeah.
Space.
Number 3, teacups.
Mission space.
No, Living with the Land, in all seriousness, it's one of those rides that is, to me, classic Disney World. Like, it speaks, there's like a language, Disneyland kind of has its classic feel to it, right? And then Disney World also has its kind of nostalgia classic feel to it. And I feel like classic Epcot is like boiled down. That's like the boiled down goodness that I want to inject into my veins. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Living with the Land, it's kind of a silly thing when you think about it. Like, you're going, you're learning the same thing over and over again. I've already learned that, about that we're getting, ladybugs to kill all the pests. I've learned all these things. I get it, but I just, for some reason, I want to watch it over and over again.
But the plans are ever changing. They always change every time you go. Like,
that's true.
you know.
During Christmas, they put up Christmas lights, and it's just
Christmas decorations here and there.
there's just something incredibly charming about it. And
Grab a banana.
Yeah, grab a little
No,
banana,
don't
get a
cucumber.
cucumber, nom on a cucumber. Say hi to that little
no.
blueberry girl, and it's just a beautiful time. I don't know what else to say besides. And again, it's like a unique thing. They will never build a ride like this again. Like, I promise you. So it's just one of those things that's like it's like kind of weird. And I think that adds to the
Educational.
Yeah.
And yet it feels like a throwback. Every time I'm in that ride, I always think, this is what living inside PBS must feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great like comparison. Like, it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but
Yeah.
for how you grow plants.
It just feels like it's from that. I don't know. PBS will always feel like it's living in the 70s to me also for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it just always has that vibe to it. And anyway, yeah, it's how it strikes me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Very
I think
unique
of like the
tone.
prairie dog, and then you go and you see, like, you just, as soon as you see the prairie dogs and the bison, you're like, I'm going to hear that dog any minute. And then you hear the
Yep.
dog, and you're like,
I,
oh, chicken.
I want
rooster.
Bob Ross to narrate the ride.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got some little prairie dogs over here.
Prairie dog.
Happy cloud.
Then,
Yeah.
then over here we've got some sturgeon. These are some wonderful.
The most beautiful.
Yeah.
So
And
those are my 3, yeah.
I love those. Garrett, you've got
Yeah.
some too. Your must-do
I do.
Disney World attractions. What do you got?
It's got to be Expedition Everest. Psych, I hate it.
I know you do.
No,
That's
I
rude.
only go
Don't
on
yuck
it
my
with
yum.
Tyler. I go on it because I love Tyler and because you then get great photos that you can use to terrorize me for years on end. No, my first one, I'm going a similar route where you can only really experience this at Walt Disney World or Shanghai Disney. And that is Tron Light Cycle Run.
Well.
This thing I've been waiting for years. When I saw it come out at Shanghai, I was like, yes, I need to have it. And I've gone on it. I love it. It is such a thrill, to be sure. Watching the original Tron and then watching Tron Legacy with the bombest soundtrack ever. I love it. I think it's a short ride, but hey, it is so much fun, and it's nice that it doesn't go down when there's lightning because it's covered. So that is a
That's
positive
fair.
for me.
Delightful.
I bet it's
Second one,
crazy with the
I'm
fireworks,
heading
too.
over-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't done that. I haven't gotten
feel
to
like that
ride it
seems like
at
psychedelic.
fireworks time. All right, I'll check that out. I like how the lights dance in there. It's really cool. But my second one, I'm heading over to Animal Kingdom, and I'm hopping on Kilimanjaro Safari because you
Ooh.
can't quite do that actually anywhere unless you actually go to Africa, probably. My old college roommate, Chris, shout out Chris, he used to be a safari driver, and he told me all the little fun facts and knowledge, and like he showed me like an idea of like what they have to learn for their script on like all the different facts, and it is quite intense, and I love this attraction. No two experiences are ever quite the same. I love learning about all the animals and like what's going on, and it's educational and entertaining, and you have not lived until you've seen a lion roar on top of its little rock.
That is crazy.
It's a great feeling. Do you ever wave at the giraffe?
I do wave at
How
the
do you?
giraffes.
How would
I
you
also
do it if you did it? Okay.
Oh.
All
Like,
right.
that's the sound a giraffe makes. It makes like a meh sound. If you go to Festival of Lion King, they show you how to sound like a giraffe. You got to hold your arm
Oh.
up high.
Oh, thank you for
But
that.
love Kilimanjaro Safari. It is great, and sometimes you get animals crossing the way. They're not audio animatronics. They are living, breathing creatures, and so sometimes you get a little bit longer ride. I like that. I
Yeah.
am a sucker for the flamingos because they're flamboyant.
They are.
The group of them
And
is called
a group of them is called a what?
a flamboyance.
A flamboyance of flamingos. That's right.
I'm a flamboyance of a Garrett.
There are many of you, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
My ego.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Hmm.
Fact.
And then, and then for my third must do, I'm heading, to Epcot just like Tyler, but I'm not hopping on Cosmic Rewind. I'm not hopping on Live One's Land.
You're
I'm
not.
hopping on Spaceship Earth right there. I
Thought
did
he was
not
gonna say
know what this
Ratatouille.
ride was when I first experienced it. And being that I'm a communication major, I went on this and I was like, it's all about how we communicate and come together as a people. I was
Who needs to go
blown
to school to
away.
learn that? Just go to Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
I
don't
love
need
you
it.
tying that in. I love the idea of you getting excited. Wait, a ride about communication? I
No,
did
it's-
communication school.
this was before I got my formal training. But
Oh, I
no,
see.
Spaceship Earth,
My bad.
people don't realize is the entire attraction is inside that circle. People think, oh, you go underground. No, you go up into that thing, and Disney just made it so that way you fit inside of it. It is a massive
So unique.
kind of geodesic sphere. I don't know what its proper name is, but this ride is amazing. I'm really hoping we get that update, that enhancement that was teased years ago. But Spaceship Earth is just so cool, and I like finding all like the little details, whether it's the Rome burning, not really. Sorry.
Are you thinking about Rome right now? Roman Empire?
And indeed, yes, Rome is always there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this attraction is just amazing, and when you get to the top and you just see we are on this spaceship Earth, Great.
That-
And
that
the
dame,
narration is phenomenal.
Her narration. Oh,
I'm scared if they redo it because then we'll like lose Judi Dench and then I'll be like, no, don't do it unless it's Julie Andrews. And I'll be like, hell yeah, do it.
Ooh.
All for
a
it.
Judy for a Julie.
Who was it supposed to be? They were changing it over to somebody else, and then I was like, kind of not into it
Didn't
when
Walter
they were.
Cronkite used to do it?
I don't know.
Okay, was he
Wasn't
the
Jeremy
first iteration
Irons in
of it?
there? Did I make that up?
One of the three Musketeers.
Did I make that up? He was in there, wasn't he?
I hadn't
Scar?
been
Wow.
to Epcot before Judi Dench, unfortunately, so I don't know.
Oh, I have no
who it
clue. He's gonna
was.
Google it
I
now.
have to know now.
Famous
Oh,
Google.
We got homework.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Katrina, if you had one or two honorable mentions for must-do Walt Disney World attractions, what would they be?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god. That's a good question. I mean, put me on the spot here.
That's what I'm all about.
I was like, I would have said Living with the Land too.
I noticed nobody has a Hollywood Studios one.
I mean, their rides are like.
You've got a better Tower of Terror out west, and it's Guardians themed. You've got,
That's true.
thank goodness it's kind of gone, Little Mermaid show and Galaxy's Edge, Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, Tyler's favorite attraction of all time.
Oh my god.
I will tell you that my must-do whenever I'm at Hollywood Studios is the Walt Disney story. Going into the Walt Disney
Classic.
Museum, that sort of makeshift museum almost to a certain degree. They came along during the 100-year celebration and never left. I am a huge fan of that cutout area and then the film afterwards. Even though that theater looks like it's been bombed by an enemy force, and I don't know. Like if you've ever been in that theater, it's disgusting. It's like it's never seen a refurbishment in its lifetime, and then the film itself is like grainy and like scratched and stuff, and poor Julie Andrews, who does narrate it, it's hard to hear her at first. The film gets better as you go, but it's such a great throwback to Walt himself. Walt Disney One Man's Dream there at Hollywood Studios. It is my must-do anytime I'm there. Just puts me in touch with Walt directly, and I feel like even though it's the namesake resort, Walt Disney World, I feel like there's so little of Walt to be felt in certain places.
Amen.
Right? Yeah. Outside of like, you think about Disneyland and you feel him throughout the place because he walked through there. He lived there, quite literally. And yet, Walt Disney World, even though it's the namesake, just never really feel much of him. But Walt Disney One Man's Dream is a wonderful place to behold. Have you come up with
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say the Three Caballero ride in Mexico is probably like a good one because
Yeah,
I do like
it's a
my
must-do.
boat rides. They're very relaxing, very therapeutic. So I can think about my day and relax in the air conditioning.
Lovely.
But yeah, it's always a fun ride, And then sometimes you'll go in and you'll be like, oh my god, it might be busy in there, and then it'll be like dead. And then it's just so amazing to see like the shops and stuff in Mexico. And then you'll go like on the boat ride and it's like you get your own boat to yourself. And then you're just like, oh my God, this is so nice.
That is
And then you
pleasant.
just like kind of like chillax. Then you get to like, see the little baby fireworks that are inside. And then if you're lucky,
sing
maybe
along.
if you go by the little, you'll see like going through like, I don't know, at the end, Mexico City. I don't know. But there's like a cityscape. And then you'll see like the little windows and stuff. And then maybe you'll see Mickey Mouse's
Maybe.
shadow in there. And that's always fun to try to spot because sometimes I forget where it is. So I'm just like, there it is.
Looking all around.
Yeah, it's always fun. And then I will say, this isn't really an attraction. Well, I mean, I call it an attraction. But I do like the little pirate game that they have over in Adventureland.
Oh,
never done
I
that.
consider it an attraction.
okay.
So you sign up and then you go, and if it's open, you can sign up. Use your little magic band, and then you go around and then you try to find treasure, and then they'll give you a little treasure map, and then you go scan it, and then things happen, like actual physical things happen. So that's like always really fun. So you'll go and then you'll light the gunpowder, and then the gunpowder will like light up, and then like there's an explosion.
Whoa.
And then like something, and then like the little boat will lift, and then you're like, whoa, and then everybody stops by and like to see what you did, and then they're like, what did you do? And then everybody's like, whoa, what did you do? This is crazy. And then you tell them to sign up, and then there's a whole bunch of people running around trying to solve and collect treasure.
Oh,
Yeah, it's always really fun. I love it.
I've never
I
played
need
it.
to do
Sounds
this.
like-
Really?
Sounds like a blast.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
cool.
it's
It's
great.
really cool.
It's like it's like you don't want to do it when it's hot outside, but it's always really fun just to kind of like get your exercise going too when you have like time to kill, and you're just like, you know what, I want to be active and do something, and you sign up, and then you there's like 4 or 5 treasure things that you find, and then it says like go back to get, you know, like a new treasure map, and then they'll put you on another treasure hunt, and then yeah, and it's really fun. I love it. And there's sometimes it'll catch you off guard. So like there was a time when one of our friends was doing it, and like Tyler and I knew because it spits water at you, and so we like moved aside, and then I was like, yeah, you stand right there, and then it's like
Sucker.
But it's really fun. Like I love it. It's like that's what like I would say for like little kiddos to keep them active, and like because you know waiting in line sometimes is a little hard for kids to sit and like you know to stand
hard for me.
patiently. I know, and so just to keep them moving and running around, that's a perfect thing to do.
Sounds like
But
fun.
you need a magic band.
And yes, naturally, in order to interact,
Yeah.
right? And Tyler, did we figure out who was the narrator before Judi Dench?
Oh yeah, Jeremy Irons was from 1994 to 2007. He was.
I bet he has a great voice.
From 1994.
He
So
does.
it must have been Walter Cronkite before that. That's what
He's
I'm
like,
guessing.
I don't know.
I believe he was the first voice. I remember hearing that at one point. So
Walter Cronkite.
now we
That's
know.
the way it is.
That's the way it is. And that's the way this segment comes to an end. You let us know, what are some of your must-do Walt Disney World attractions? We would love to hear from you. And you stick around. There is Kingdom Report Live to wrap up for you next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. Because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors. Frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. And sadly, that brings us to a close of another show. And we are so grateful that you could make us a part of your weekend, that we could be a part of yours. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to that YouTube channel or the Kingdom Report on YouTube, or that you are subscribed on any of the podcast platforms that you find us on. It means so much. For Tyler Crouch, Katrina Menzone, and Garrett Hassel, as well as producer Tony, I have been Wade, and you have been you. And we wish you a wonderful week ahead. Never forget that the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for an all-new Kingdom Report Live.